This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
Hey everybody, I'm back in Hong Kong. Do you guys remember the Oppo Find X that came out in mid-2018? That was one of my personal favorite phones of the year because it was so damn unique. It had this radical design that didn't have a fingerprint scanner or a camera module that you can see from the outside. Instead, the phone had this forehead, the top, that popped up and down to scan your face to unlock or whenever you need to take a photo. It was such a radical design and just completely different from everything else out there. Now fast forward a year and a half later and I have here on me the Oppo Find X2. Now this phone at first glance is not near as radical or as unique as the original Oppo Find X. In fact, it actually looks and feels like a lot of other phones already out on the market. But that's not a bad thing because while being radical and being unique can grab headlines, it doesn't always make the device usable. The Oppo Find X, even though I loved it because it was so cool, it was not the most easy to use device. Now instead, the Find X2, I can see myself making this as my daily driver. This is a phone that I can actually use every day because it has everything I need. Anyway, before I begin, I'm gonna rewind back to the unboxing just so you can see what you're getting with the package. If you're not interested in the unboxing part, skip to this time right here, and I'll be back with the hands-on of the Oppo Find X2. Okay, so earlier I said that the Find X2 doesn't have a radical design quite like the original Find X. That's because, you know, when the Find X came out, that was something we haven't seen before. We've seen this before, but that is by no means a bad thing because this is one of the most polished hardware I've touched yet, and probably the most polished hardware that Oppo has made. So first let's look at this display. 6.5-inch OLED display with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. So everything is super ultra smooth. Is basically the animations are moving at twice the speed as a 60 Hz phone. Well, either twice the speed or double the animation. So everything is just faster, zippier. And on top of that, the touch sampling rate, the response rate, it's 240 Hz. So unless you're a gamer, you're not really going to notice it. But now the touch response time has been reduced. Oh, what the heck? Has been reduced from 7.4 milliseconds to 4.2 milliseconds. Now this resolution of the panel, it's a Quad HD panel at 3168 by 1440. Now unlike the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, which forces you to choose between having Quad HD or 120 Hz refresh rate, like you can have both, you can actually use both on the Oppo Find X2, which I have done right here. So if you jump into settings, so you see resolution right now, I have it on Quad HD, and I also have refresh rate at 120 Hz. But to be honest, this does hit the battery life very hard. You see, I'm already at 19%. When I first started using the phone today, I had about 52%. So it dropped 30% in about 3-4 hours, like about 4 hours. So it's not too bad, but it does hit it pretty hard. So I'll probably, by the time I use this phone as my day-to-day daily driver, I'll probably go to auto select. That will allow the screen to jump between 60 and 120, or maybe I'll just lower resolution to 1080p. I'm pretty sure 1080p still looks really good, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep it at max settings. So this is Quad HD with 120 Hz, and this is just one of the most beautiful screens I've seen, maybe the most beautiful right now. It's so damn smooth. Now there's a hole punch cutout right here. It houses a 32 megapixel selfie camera, but you know, you guys know me, I don't really care about selfies that much. What excites me is the back right here, this camera system. So we have a 13 megapixel periscope telephoto zoom lens. So this is like the same zoom lens that Oppo introduced with the Reno 10x zoom, but this is the second generation hardware, so everything's a little bit better. You see right here, even going at 10x zoom, the image is pretty sharp, and a 60x zoom is still very usable, unlike the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, whose 60x zoom is pretty damn bad. And now right here, these two lenses are exciting too. You have a 48 megapixel Sony IMX 689 sensor. This is custom built for the Oppo Find X2. So Oppo worked with Sony to build this lens, and it has an extra large sensor size of 1/1.43 inches. Combine that with pixel binning, that effectively gives you a micron pixel size of 2.24. So in photography, the larger the sensor size, the more light you can pull in, so that's important. And now the wide angle lens here, it's also a 48 megapixel shooter, because both of these cameras, the main and the wide, are the exact same 48 megapixel sensors. So that means image should be pretty close in quality too. Now I'm gonna put it to the test a little bit more later, but so far from what I'm seeing, so good. Now the back, it's leather. This is vegan leather. It also comes in ceramic, but I'm liking this leather back, man. I'm just so glad Oppo shined something different here instead of giving us another glass back, which really kind of is getting tiresome by now, and you get all these fingerprints on it really easily. This one, you don't have to worry about fingerprints, and it feels pretty nice. So inside, this phone is powered by Snapdragon 865 with 12 gigs of RAM. So as you can see from the Geekbench score, it's a really high number. This is a powerhouse. This phone is 5G ready. And you notice the screen is curved. I'm a fan of curved screen because I think it looks nice, and I have to applaud Oppo for doing a really good job with palm rejection. You see, I am not getting accidental touches. I'm not accidentally triggering WhatsApp with the fat part of my thumb, but if I touch it with my thumb, then it will actually open. Now, as I mentioned, if you run this phone at full Quad HD resolution with 120 Hertz refresh rate, I don't think the battery will last you all day. The battery inside is a 4,260 milliamp hour cell, so it's large, but not too large. Like the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. But I think if you toggle the settings to automatic refresh rate, it should be okay. And if you need to charge, you can top up this phone really fast, because this phone supports Oppo's 65 watt Super VOOC 2.0 charging. Now, a couple of other things. This phone doesn't have a headphone jack, unfortunately, but you do get earbuds with the box, USB-C earbuds, and you get very nice stereo speakers. The stereo speaker on this thing is really good. And of course, you have a in-display fingerprint reader that's really fast and really accurate. But there is no wireless charging on this phone, unfortunately. Okay, I waited until the sun set, so now I'm going to take some photo samples. First things first, I want to say that the software in my unit of the Find X2 is not final. This is pre-production software, so that means these images are not the final finished product that you're going to get from the retail device. So that is why this is not a review. This is just a hands-on. This is not a review. I'm going to do a full review later when I get the software update to have retail software. So I've been playing with the camera a little bit already, and I can tell that the larger sensor size really does make a difference. Like, I don't even have to turn on night mode to get a really well lit and well balanced night image. In fact, sometimes turning on night mode actually produces an inferior shot. That's like the exact same thing with the Huawei P30 Pro, because if you guys remember, the Huawei P20 Pro and the Mate 20 Pro had a really amazing night mode. But by the time the P30 Pro came around, because the P30 Pro's camera was already so good at low light, you almost didn't need to use the night mode anymore. And that's the same thing with the Find X2. So far, the shots I'm getting, I don't think I need night mode at all here, and it's quite dark other than some of the city lights. Alright, so before I continue on with the Find X2, I want to take a minute to talk about my sponsor, Skillshare. So as many of you guys already know, we are going through a virus scare right now all around the world, and for a lot of people in seriously affected areas, they have to stay at home. They can't go out, like in China and in Korea right now. So if you're going to stay at home, you might as well make productive use of your time and learn something. So Skillshare is an online platform with thousands of classes taught by professionals on creative industries, everything from illustrations to photography to digital design to digital marketing. Basically, skills you'll need to build a career or land a job in 2020 and beyond. So right now I'm taking a class that's actually very helpful to me. I'm taking the iPhone filmmaking class taught by the guys on Moment. If you're familiar with digital photography at all, you probably know of Moment. They're the makers of these little snap-on lenses for iPhones and other smartphones. So all the videos are available on the website or on the app, and I can choose between them and fast forward and stream them immediately live on the spot on my tablet or on my phone. And that's just one of thousands of other classes. You can learn a bunch of other stuff like digital illustrations, how to do marketing, how to knit even. So yeah, if you're gonna stay at home, then you might as well stay productive with Skillshare. Now, because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, I have a special deal for my viewers. If you use the link in my description below, you can sign up and get 2 months off free. Okay, now let's talk software. So this phone runs on Android 10 with ColorOS version 7.1 on top. If you've watched some of my recent videos on Oppo phones and Realme phones, you will know that I am a huge fan of ColorOS now. That was not always the case. Even 2 years ago, I really did not like ColorOS, but kudos to Oppo. They really listened to feedback and they've really built a software that's highly customizable and clean and minimal. So they added an app tray. This wasn't here like a year and a half ago. So now it feels more like a traditional Android phone. And one of the newest additions now is you have the option to bring down a shade by swiping anywhere on the screen. This is awesome. Even last year, Oppo made you reach all the way to the top, and I hated that. And just a bunch of other little things like screen off gestures. You can double tap to turn the screen on, draw a V to launch flashlight, draw a circle to enable the camera. Draw a circle, launch camera, double tap to turn on the screen. Okay, so that's about it with this first look of the Oppo Find X2. So I don't know the retail price of this phone yet at the time of this video, but I think by the time you're watching it, I will know the price, so I'll put the price in the description below. Now, I mean, I don't know the price yet, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure this will be cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S Ultra, which sells for $1,400 US. I don't think this will be anywhere close to $1,400. So I think if you factor in that this is several $100s cheaper than what Samsung's offering, this is a really damn good alternative. Really, you're getting the exact same screen as what Samsung's giving you, and the camera system might actually be better because I haven't been impressed with the 108 megapixel sensor on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Now, the S Ultra is going to have better battery life because it has a 5,000 mAh battery, while this is only 4,200. Other than that, the Find X2 really gives you the exact same package as what you're getting with the Samsung Galaxy S Ultra at a lower price point. And to be honest, I like this leather back a lot better than I like the glass back on the Galaxy S Ultra too. Anyway, that's it for now. If you're interested in more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at Ben's Gadget Reviews. I'm gonna have more coming up. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna test the Huawei P40 Pro, so please stay tuned. Thanks for watching.